There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on.
Hello, it is Clare and Jessie here, just popping into your ears to let you know about a brand new podcast that we've done.
It is in the cancelled ecosystem, I would say.
It is, because it's about cancelling
Our own babies, lovingly.
Yes.
Lovingly.
Not so much the baby, but the things around the baby.
The earnestness of parenting as a thing we do, and then we talk about mamas very patronisingly. And I don't like the word bub. Look, we have done a whole series of the baby bubble about the fourth trimester. Everything from how we're doing feeding wrong and how we're doing feeding wrong in unique ways.
Yeah.
There are new mistakes to be made always. How to tell people to get the fuck out of your house because the village
can be a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And things like how our partners, we didn't notice how incompetent they were until now.
So we do discuss that. We cover everything. But just a warning, this is not a parenting advice podcast. Do we do an advice column? Yeah. Is it helpful? Exclusively not. So look, if you want expert advice, literally go to anyone. As we say, go to the woman at the bus stop. She's got something to say. We don't. So here is the first episode for you to have a listen to, and there's a link in the show notes to find out more. Have a listen and we hope you enjoy.
Hey, I was just thinking, you know how they say sleep when the baby sleeps, best advice ever, because I hadn't thought of that. When the baby was sleeping, I was, running a marathon while my vag is falling out my butthole. But you know how they say sleep while the baby sleeps? Do you think that we should podcast while the baby podcasts? Or do you think that we should do emails while the baby does their emails? How about cooking while the baby cooks? And we should just have a bath and a glass of wine when the baby has a bath and a glass of wine. Shit.
The Baby Bubble with Clare and Jessie Stevens. It's definitely not a parenting advice podcast.
We are identical twins who had our babies 5.5 months apart, making them half siblings. I'm Jessie Stevens. I'm an author, writer and podcaster. You might have heard me on Mamamia Out Loud and Cancelled.
And I'm Clare Stevens. I'm a writer and podcaster. You might have heard me on But Are You Huffy and Cancelled.
And something we've noticed about parenting is it's a little earnest. Everyone takes it very seriously.
I have 3 mothers groups with my 3 children.
I want to talk about the perks of showering with your babies.
I'm going to get this product of a perfect child turned out exactly as I want them.
The 4 principles of positive parenting.
I always make the birthday cake for my kids' parties.
My #1 tip for surviving newborn life.
And I was like, oh my God, it's my waters.
It's all advice. It's all you got this, mama. It's all how is bub. And the hardest job in the world. And my baby has bright purple poop with mucus in it. And it's like, did you go foraging?
You went foraging and you found some stuff.
You found some stuff. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And look, this shit's hilarious.
It's funnier than I thought. And
it's the funniest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, and I don't think we acknowledge enough the funny because we're very busy with the earnest.
Claire, pop quiz. Will it be helpful?
Absolutely not.
Do you have any tips about a baby with a chronic farting condition?
No, but I would love some because Matilda, she doesn't stop farting.
She doesn't. And I'm always like, oh, she's done a poo. And you're like, no. She's just constantly covered in, you can see like a green cloud of fart.
Yeah, she's in a waft of fart.
Today is all about the experience of meeting this alien. You've been growing inside you for frankly too long. At any point that you give birth, it's been too long.
Far, far, far too long. Before you have a baby, you're told that the moment you meet the human who's been using your chicken nuggets to grow hair and your donuts to grow knees is going to be nothing short of magical. And for a lot of women, it absolutely is. They go, oh my gosh, look at my beautiful little scrumptious darling potato. But there's one thing no one talks about enough, and it's this. When your baby is born, you've literally never met.
Who the fuck are you?
They're looking up at you with the eyes they grew from your hot chips. And you're like, I don't want to be rude, but where did you come from?
It's a very, what's your deal? You're very trying to work each other out. So you're looking at them being like, what are your interests?
Yeah.
What are your values?
Yeah.
What are you going to bring to this family?
Yes.
And also,
what do you think of me?
Yeah.
Am I it?
Do you like your mama? Do you like me? And also, who are you broadly? Like, it's fine, honestly.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just that I
fine.
don't personally know who you are
No.
at all.
But it's like we're suddenly incredibly close for two people who have known each other all of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
In that you came out of my body and now you seem to be squirming actively towards my breast.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Jessie, can you give us your birth story in 3 sentences and then tell me what your vibe was of Luna?
I was thinking of presenting it like a Google review.
Okay.
Because
How
I
many
really
stars?
like Google reviews.
How many stars?
4.
Yeah.
High Google review. Would recommend. Would say fab, vibey, pushing not as bad as I expected.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yes, but too long. So on my feedback form, I would just say, shorter please. I vibed Luna from the beginning, and I think that was because of her sensibly sized head.
Okay.
The circumference was reasonable. Absolutely reasonable. So it didn't hurt that much. I mean, I also got an epidural,
Luna was very, puffy from all the fluid.
She was. It's very, you look back and you go, that's not my baby, she was swapped.
Yeah. But it was her.
She looks completely different.
What was your first reaction when your baby arrived, appearance-wise?
He's blue.
How little and how cute he was, but also how slippery he was trying to pick him up and get him on my chest.
Oh, he's a bit ugly.
Have you noticed? Because they did it with both of our babies when our babies were born. They made a remark about you have daddy's nose.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because they're we don't want them to have a fight about this not being your baby?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. They don't want to do a paternity test.
No. Okay, great point. Because the midwife, they do make a point of saying, oh, daddy's eyes, daddy's nose.
Yeah.
So that dad doesn't go, what the hell?
Yeah.
And charge out of the room.
The dad certainly doesn't see the resemblance. The dad's shocked at what they're saying because purple and wiggly. Claire, I want to hear your Google review, please.
Okay. I would say probably just in terms of birth.
Yeah.
Not in terms of baby. We love baby.
Yeah.
But birth, 2.5 stars. Maybe.
Really? I would think less.
Yeah, no, maybe less. I was trying to be nice.
Okay.
It was fucked in that it went for almost 2 full days and I birthed after having not slept for 3 nights.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Baby got stuck.
Yeah.
And then she panicked. And she came out in what can only be described as a frenzy involving a vacuum.
Vacuum. That's why she has a prolonged fear of vacuums.
Yeah.
She sees it and she's like, get away from my head.
Yeah. I tried to embrace some of the principles of calm and hypnobirth during my birth. But then I was like, I refuse to remain calm.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Yes.
And it was very...
Too much energy to remain calm.
No. And
it's I'd rather cry and kind of just vaguely yell.
And I remember saying to you, I'm meant to be relaxing my muscles. And they say relax your mouth because apparently your mouth matches your pelvis or something.
Yeah.
So you're meant to relax your tongue and all of that. But I was so tense.
Yeah.
And I kept telling myself, why
don't you just relax?
But why can't I relax? And in hindsight, it's because I was in an inordinate amount of pain.
Yeah.
And so I don't like the idea that I'm meant to relax when I can't. But Matilda's vibe was very who she is now.
Which is the drama.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Yeah. And she's quite eccentric, really. So she came out not crying, which was terrifying, and also unexpected, which is part of who she is. And she wasn't breathing, so she had to be taken off me, which was very scary. But the poor thing was very sore after her vacuum.
Yeah, she has a sore head.
Yeah. But then she did come on me, and she had done a poo.
Okay.
So...
All right, because I wanted to speak for a moment about the experience from the eyes of the baby.
Oh, wow.
Because they've come out.
Which, can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
So dark, so gooey.
Who the fuck are you, firstly?
Yeah.
Why is it so dry out here?
Yeah.
Get your hands off me.
Mm-hmm.
And shh.
Everyone shut up.
Everyone shh.
Stop talking to me.
That's very loud. There's a lot of fuss. That I came from a place of zero fuss.
Mm-hmm.
I came from the before land where it was dark. Maybe there was a white noise machine on.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't all this fuss.
I wasn't doing much except every now and then I'd play with a bit of cord I would. I'd play with a bit of cord because we did learn, in fact, that with the umbilical cord, they can do a party trick where they grab the cord, squeeze it, limit their oxygen supply, have a faint, wake back up. And that's kind of the way that you pass time in utero.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And apparently the OBs can see it.
And Matilda sucked her thumb in utero. So that was also one of her tricks. She went, this is fun. And then when they come out, apparently, you know how you hear so many facts that you lose sense of what's true, what's made up.
Yeah.
I think I've made up a lot. But something to do with the milk smells like something in the uterus.
Oh.
So that's why they kind of gravitate towards it. So it's cute that they're placed on you.
How can you smell through wet?
Great question. They're very a fish.
They're very a fish. Like,
And because this is what I don't understand. So in utero, we were convinced
they had gills. I told someone that with confidence. I was like, oh, no, they have gills and then they come out and they don't.
Yeah, the gills close up.
Yeah.
But she didn't have gills.
Or if she did, I couldn't see them.
No. And so I think Matilda was quite a fish. She was very a fish who had been in the water and then comes out.
And wriggles.
And is like,
get me off this fishing line. And in this case, a fishing line was a vacuum.
Yeah, but she's like, I can't breathe. And then they had to close her gills. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, no, they did have to close her gills.
Yeah.
And just demonstrate breathing. Because what happened as well when your Matilda came out is she came out and Rory was asked to cut the umbilical cord. And he was this is a bit gross. This is a bit yuck. This is a bit yuck. Because I don't know, it's like funny colour, yuck. And they were like, emergency, cut now.
He couldn't decide whether he wanted to cut the cord because he's very
squirmish.
Yeah.
Oh, Rory.
And so
how great would it be to consider what you want?
In this moment.
And to also be grossed out by anything.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to be grossed out? I don't know where my butthole begins and ends. My vagina begins and ends. And I am covered in what can broadly be described as
labour.
Uterus. Labour. It looks and smells like labour.
Yeah.
My sense of being grossed out. She has pooed. Probably I have pooed. There is a mixture of poop. And I feel no shame. Just exhaustion.
Her poop is my poop. I am her, she is me. But they kind of gave Rory the scissors and he clearly was trying to make it a moment. And they're like, so, this is an emergency. Either cut it or don't fucking cut it. And he was like, boom, took her. Matilda, always the drama.
All right, Claire, quick true or false? Does this baby item exist? Poop alarm. In case the smell isn't a strong enough clue, then what it is it will remind you that there's a need for a nappy change with a sound and a blinking LED light.
Wait, how does it tell?
I don't know, Claire. I'm not a fucking engineer.
Okay. I think there are natural poop alarms.
Yeah.
And I think the poop alarm is your sense of smell.
And also
your eyesight.
And also the rolling avalanche cascade waterfall of shit going down in between your baby's toes.
I think that's an absolutely excellent poop alarm.
Claire, there is such a thing as a poop alarm.
Okay, that is when we've gone too far with the baby merch. Then you've got a baby. It is weird that you've just had the most intense experience of your life and then everyone leaves. So there's all this drama. There's a lot of people in the room. And then all of a sudden, it's you in bed with this weird wheelie cot next to you.
With a fish in it.
And it's a bit, are you right, mate? Are you right?
Are you in the right place?
Are you right? There was a lot of drama and now you appear to be sleeping soundly, whereas I am dealing with trauma.
Soundly, but also, can you shut the fuck up?
What are those noises?
I haven't slept.
Yeah.
This is... Shh. Mummy and Daddy are trying to sleep. You made a fuss. You took too long. Now everyone's trying to sleep. You know how you don't give them a bath for a while?
Yeah.
For like days. People come in, and I had people come in and meet Luna, I don't know, like an hour after she was born. I didn't know whether that was like kosher or not. It just happened. And people were like, oh, she's so sweet, and like holding her and stuff.
And kissing her on
and
the
kissing
head.
her, right? And I'm like, I don't care about you kissing her. That's fine. That's play on. But she hasn't had a bath.
No.
She's covered in what I would have described as vagina juice. Broadly wet.
Not only vagina juice, organ juice. She's covered in my
internal organs.
Yeah.
And like they just wiped her down. Very briefly.
Very briefly. There was no, as far as I know, hand sanitizer.
Why doesn't she smell more? That's what I thought.
Yeah. And she smelled quite lovely.
Yeah. I remember, having Matilda on me. And look, I mean, she did poo on her way out. So there was that as a separate thing.
You're a new baby. What the fuck is poo?
Oh,
I've never done it. I don't know what that is,
No.
but it's stickiness all over me.
It's on me and it's not being wiped up by the fluid around me.
No.
The fluid's
Clare,
gone.
they don't poo in the uterus.
Wait. Oh.
Think about it. They do that for, if they poo in the womb, you have to emergency give birth.
How do they poo?
I think the umbilical cord.
Through the umbilical cord.
Yeah. Did you think that they would just randomly
They
pooping?
wee? Do they wee in their little sack?
I don't fucking know.
I think they wee in their sack. I think they're swimming in their wee. I think they're drinking their wee.
Okay, but if they're pooping in their sack,
Why do they poop?
they only poop on their way out.
Why?
Because it's their body's way of being like, I'm born.
Okay. But it's a lot. And you're like, okay, you just have a sleep. I'll
Yeah.
bleed all over the hospital.
Oh, yeah. All over my sheets and stuff.
What were some of the unusual ways you got your baby to sleep at first?
I played Foo Fighters' Greatest Hits album. I saw them when I was pregnant. I thought it might help.
During the first week, there were a few nights I had him in the pram at 2 a.m. doing laps around the house, trying to get him to sleep.
I remember Matilda just laying there so peacefully. She looked like a little angel. And I thought, the audacity.
Yeah.
The audacity to do that. I've got stitches. I'm standing up and there is blubber coming out. And you are so peaceful.
You are so peaceful.
I mean, there's so much that I'm going through. Baby's so peaceful.
Mm.
Like, oh, don't worry, Mum, I'm fine. Well, you're not, because you're going to scream for milk. You're going to scream for milk soon. And you're going to scream because you do not understand why you are in the world.
No, you want to be back.
And everything about how you interact with your newborn is about making them feel like they're still in the womb.
Yeah.
It's swaddle them really tight and not too much light and white noise, everything to replicate it.
Yeah.
And
What was the point in birthing him?
Yeah, if you just want to be in the womb. I mean, that's fine. Get back in. It's wide open.
It's wide open. You could go back
Yeah.
in. You actually could. And you would probably cry less. You would cry less.
I think what humans should have is like a kangaroo situation.
Yeah,
You birth, but then you've got a front pouch.
Yeah.
And baby just kind of stays in that pouch for another 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Sucking up whatever from your skin. Maybe you have a breast on your stomach and they're just constantly at that.
Yeah, go for it.
And then by the time they emerge,
They're a
baby. Maybe they can walk.
Yeah, they're actually functional. They can certainly jump. I don't know if you had this experience, but I kept saying, Luna is the easy bit. What was hard was being in bed and like I hadn't slept in days and days. What was hard was the tea, coffee, muffin. Would you like biscuit? Would you like breakfast? It's 8 o'clock. Do I fucking look like I would like any breakfast? How about lunch? It's midday. How about afternoon tea? Afternoon tea isn't a meal, for starters. And the problem with afternoon tea and morning tea and fucking 6 a.m. tea and dessert and stuff is that you then come and try and pick up things from my room that I never took. So it's like I'm just collecting the tea you had. Well, I actually denied the tea because I've been trying to sleep. But you've been knocking on this door every 15 minutes for 4 days.
And it's bizarre because you're already on the schedule of a tiny dictator who's going to wake you up every 3 hours. Doesn't matter day, night. They don't know.
No.
They don't know.
And then finally you're getting a few hours sleep in the morning. Knock.
Tea or coffee?
Tea or coffee. I don't want either.
I'm going to vomit everywhere.
I found tea or coffee way more annoying than Luna. Genuinely way more annoying than Luna. And then I remember this, Luca took Luna just like up the ward for a little bit so that I could try and get some sleep, right? And he put a sign on the door. He said, let this bitch sleep. She is not making sense. Okay? Because I hadn't slept in days. And it's really hard because your adrenaline's really high and I'm kind of just like drifting off. And I get knock.
No.
From the pediatrician.
Where's your baby?
Oh, I don't know. It walked away.
I wanted to go,
baby, what baby?
oh my God, I don't know where I put it. Can you check under the bed? Shit, I think I put it in my bag. Do you think she has to find my friends?
Have you tried calling her?
Does she have an Apple AirTag? They should attach that when she's born.
Try her AirTag. I don't know where she went. Shit. I knew this would happen.
Where's your baby? But then you've got this weird defensiveness about them. So a midwife came in. Matilda wasn't feeding properly. She was like, I've got a sore head, buckle.
Yeah. My head hurts.
Yeah.
Try eating when you've got a headache.
Exactly. So she wasn't feeding very well. And this midwife was like, she's very fussy. Whoa, don't talk about my girl like that.
You don't know her. And relatedly, I don't know her. And relatedly, he doesn't know her.
No.
None of us know her.
But there was a midwife who came in and she criticised Rory, she criticised me, she criticised Matilda, and she walked out. And I said, you don't come in and shit on my family, okay? Because she is the drama.
Yeah.
In her little crib. Only I may
say that.
Have feelings about that.
And I remember also thinking, looking at Luna and being like, oh my goodness, she's inherited my slack chin. Remember how I had a whole crisis about that and I messaged you and I said I've always worried that I have a slack chin. I have quite an overbite and I had a lot of dental work to correct it. But the thing about a baby is that they haven't had the dental work. So they come out the worst you.
Yeah, no, they come out very raw.
They come out raw.
Genetically.
And it's like whatever you think you've hidden from your husband or your partner or anyone in your life about your own physical appearance through dye, through waxing, through fake tan, that baby comes out and it's like, have I mentioned my mum has no pigment? And I'm like, okay, so I'm actually translucent. And there's a lot of things that they look at and it's like, oh, that's a funny face she's doing. And I'm like, I've been hiding that face from you this whole time because she's got very slack chin. And I've said this since, her hairline at the back, it starts way too high. I'm like, yeah, I've never liked that hairline. And then I think, oh, it's just me being self-deprecating. And then I look at her and I'm like, no, that's my genetics.
Crap. Crap advice.
At the end of every show, we give advice on your baby-related dilemmas because between us, we have absolutely not one iota of expertise, only vibes. Here's the dilemma for today that a listener wrote in for us. And Jessie, we're going to give some really great advice.
I love giving advice.
I have a 10-week-old baby boy who is an absolute dream during the day. He feeds and sleeps and smiles, and everyone I see tells me how lucky I am to have such a calm and happy baby. But then it gets to nighttime. He wakes up every 2 hours at least and takes a really long time to get settled. There are other babies in my mother's group who are already sleeping through the night. Is there a trick to turning a baby into a good sleeper? Should I be worried that he doesn't seem to even know when it's nighttime? Jessie, do you have any advice?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
I've got heaps. Okay, a few things. Firstly, I know this is obvious, but communication. So family counselling, seeing a therapist, chatting it out, because it doesn't sound like you've even tried with the communication. You're just complaining to us.
Have you told him you want him to sleep?
Exactly. I don't feel like you've told him the expectations. So you've got to set up your expectations. You've got to say 7 o'clock bedtime.
You've got to say,
7 o'clock wake up.
Arthur.
Yeah.
Come on now. 7 till 7, please. Absolutely.
I thought you wanted to hang out. Oh, sorry. Confusion.
3 a.m. hangout? 5 a.m. hangout?
No, doesn't want to hang out. The next one is he's had 10 weeks to get it together.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. And I was thinking about jet lag because he clearly has a bit of jet lag. And jet lag doesn't take 10 weeks. For me, 2 days. So he's over the jet lag period.
He's taking the piss.
And that's where I come up with the solution.
Okay.
I did actually perform a little bit of research for this because usually I would just intuit.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is a very serious problem.
That's what all advice is based on.
It's vibe. Yeah. But I did actually do some Googling. I looked up what is the exact opposite time zone of Australia because I think moving there would work.
Oh my gosh, that's so smart.
So I don't know why we're trying to change our baby.
Yeah, just move.
The baby's on the right pattern.
For Alaska.
Yes. For, and I found it, American Samoa.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a different place to Samoa.
Oh.
Allegedly.
Okay.
It's called American Samoa. I didn't confirm. I never actually clicked to fully understand. But I don't know why more people don't just move to the time zone that would fit the baby.
Suit the baby, yes.
Because
the baby's set. Baby's like a computer.
Yes. It's like when you get like a watch or a computer or whatever that
like
always
Portugal
says
time.
2 p.m.
Yep.
And you're
London
like,
time.
oh, it's not. It's 1 a.m. And it's like, yeah, well, your computer's set to Alaska. Your computer is set to Norway.
And yeah, one thing is to change the computer. The other thing is to move to the place where it's set to.
So that the computer makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I think with little Arthur, you need Arthur to make sense. You need Arthur to thrive. It's currently trying to fit a square peg, that's Arthur, into a round hole, which is Australian time zone. So if you go to the other time zone, I would imagine that what will happen with Arthur is that he does sleep all the way through the night and he's a dream. And then he's like up through the day, which is great.
And are you in another country and you've got no support? You've lost your job? Yes.
Do you have accommodation? No. Is your baby sleeping? Probably not.
Probably. Maybe
Probably
he'll
not.
change.
Yeah.
Boom. Well, I've got some advice.
Okay.
I'd also say he's trolling you. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Everybody acts like, oh, babies, oh, they don't know. They're just crying for. No, he knows. He goes, hey, mum, you sleep? Wow.
It's manipulative.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Form of torture.
He says, hey, mum, let's hang out because I know you've got nowhere to be.
Oh, shit.
You've got there's no one around. And then he does. He says during the day when there are people around, I will act like an angel so that you feel crazy. He's gaslighting her.
Oh, my God. He's gaslighting her, which is a form of abuse. You should call the police.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I've got it. All
Call
right.
police.
Yes.
Go to court. Judge Judy.
I don't want to look at you anymore. Out!
Go to Judge Judy and say, I am being gaslit by a
this
10-week-old
baby. And the baby is fast asleep in their little crib.
Yeah, being an angel.
On
and
trial.
then wakes up and smiles and then does a little burp and everyone giggles. And it's like, this is actually what
This is what I mean. And then they show footage from the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it's like black and white and grainy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Head spinning 360
Yeah.
degrees. And bailiff is like, that's fucked.
Yes. So true.
Yeah. And
So
Judge
to Judge
Judy would come up with a sentence.
Yeah.
Which,
I think American Samoa.
yeah, you must move to the other side of the world where your baby will troll you somewhat less. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Baby Bubble, which is definitely not a parenting advice podcast. If you liked this episode, follow the Baby Bubble in your podcast app. Next week, we take on the first shower, the first poo, and an initiation into all this madness. We'd love it if you would share this podcast with your friends and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. If you have a few minutes to complete our survey, there's a link in the show notes, and you'll go in the running to win a $50 gift voucher to thank you for your time. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.